Well, before I can talk about mules, I gotta talk about horses, and I always loved horses. When I was a kid, I wanted to live in the old West, and so when I was 15 years old, I got my first horse, and in those days, it was just kind of kick and spur and hang on, and then as I got older, and then I got away from the horses for a while and got married and had kids and all that, but I still wanted to be a cowboy. But I couldn't rope, and I didn't know anything about cattle, so I got interested in the packing deal. And they let me help out at a couple of the pack outfits here, and that's when I was first introduced to mules. And getting introduced to mules was kind of love at first sight, because there was a lot of personality there. And of course, horses have personality too, but mules have, as you well know, being a mule man yourself, mules have a personality that kind of beats all. And then I was passing through here one time just because I used to backpack in the Sierras, and I wanted to stop in Bishop, and I was told, well, you'll never get a hotel room up there because they have something called Mule Days. So I camped in some local campground and wandered over and saw what they were doing with mules, and I thought, boy, that's for me. And I started coming to Mule Days, and it wasn't before long that I invested in my first, and so far, only mule that I've been riding for 18 years, and his name is Jimmy. So that's about that part. And then, when I was a kid, I always envied the guys. I had a horse out there in Burbank, which is right near the studios, and all the old Western stars from those Warner Brothers Presents Westerns that they used to have, The Lawman and Cheyenne and all those kind of stories. All those Western stars were riding around there. And so I always thought, gosh, it would be so exciting to work in Western movies. I mean, I thought that would be just the greatest thing. You couldn't go back to that time in reality, which I now realize is probably a good thing. But I thought to be an actor in Western movies would be really great, and to be an actor would be really great. And there I was living in Hollywood, where all this was around. But my parents were very discouraging because all the people around them were actors in small bit parts. I'm getting into a long story here but half the Mexican bandits that you see in those movies from those days are all Russian immigrants. So but what took off for me first was the writing, and even though I got paid to write some Westerns, none of them ever got to the screen. So now in my old age, I'm giving a try at the acting racket again, and I went out to do some writing in a couple of Westerns, and then for this one movie I went out to hoping to get a writing gig, and I didn't get a writing gig, but I got chosen for the Lone Ranger movie to be the drunken sheriff of the town, which is only a couple of scenes, and I'm completely unconscious in one of them. But it was a lot of fun, and if I get a chance to do something more of that, I'm gonna give that a try too. I'll be turning 70 in another month, and so it's time for a whole new career, And that's about it, the short version.